We're not done. Hey, do you like horror? I remember we talked about it a little bit when you first joined the club. I can enjoy horror novels, but not really horror movies. I liked It a lot. The problem I have with horror movies is that most of them just rely on easy tactics. Like dark lighting and scary looking monsters and jump scares and things like that. It's true. A lot of movies use jump scares instead of like trying to actually creep you out. You're kind of doing the same thing, but it's hard to do it with a visual novel. Well, with novels, it's a little bit different. The story and writing need to be descriptive enough to put genuinely disturbing thoughts into the reader's head. You did a good job of like making it cute and then not cute. It really needs to etch them deeply into story and characters, and just mess with your mind. In my opinion, there's nothing more creepy than things just being slightly off. You're right. Like, if you set up a bunch of expectations on what a story is going to be about, and then you just start inverting things and pulling the pieces apart. It's like that whole, like, it's like the uncanny valley thing, but, like, I know that's like an overused term, probably. But yeah, no, it's definitely weird when things are slightly off. So even though the story doesn't really feel like it's trying to be scary, the reader feels like it's deeply unsettled. Like they know something is horribly wrong, hiding beneath the cracks, just waiting to surface. Yeah. God, just thinking about it gives me the chills. When I played this like in one sitting, I was scared my ass off. Like, I'm a little bit better now because I took a break, but I imagine like if you played this game just full in one sitting. But I guess you're the kind of person who plays cute romance novels, or romance games, right? Don't worry. I won't make you read any horror stories anytime soon. Can't really complain if we just stick with the romance. Okay. So... I mean, are we done here? That was an interesting little end piece. I wonder just how long can I stay here? I mean, if you guys are still here, then, you know, let's see how long we can take this. You know, I really do think you saved my life by being here with me, Tuba. I can't imagine having been able to keep myself mentally stable knowing that nothing here is real. I would have just deleted myself if you didn't show up. So I didn't mean to make it sound dramatic or anything. But I'm sure you understand yourself after spending so much time in the club. I mean, if you were forced to abandon everything in your life and then spend eternity in a game with a few characters. Yeah. It would be tough. You'd probably find some way of killing yourself, wouldn't you? Well, I mean, maybe you'd write some poetry to keep yourself sane for a while. But then you'd have nobody to even read it. Let's be honest. The club members really don't count for something like that. I mean, you would have a bunch of people playing you, right? So you would have like a bunch of interaction with random people. And if you were self-aware, you could probably talk. A lot of people say they only write for themselves. But I think that it's hard to say it's just as fulfilling when you share with other people. Even if it takes some time to find the right people to share it with. Like, remember how it was for Yuri? She didn't share her writing with anyone for a really long time. And before we knew it, she was absolutely delighted to make you part of her hobbies too. We're programmed to desire social feedback. I don't mean the club members, I mean human beings. That's why life can be so confusing for introverts. Being an introvert doesn't mean that you shun social interaction and hate being around people. It means social interaction, especially in groups or unfamiliar places, uses up a lot of energy. Like, a lot of introverts sit at home and feel lonely and restless. And then when they finally go out after a half hour, they just want to go home again. I think if more people could understand how it works, they could respect it a lot more. Many introverts do enjoy having people around. They love just having one or two close friends over and just leisurely hanging out. Even if you're not actively spending time together, it feels nice for them just to have you there. I'm serious. If you just go to their house and bring your laptop and hang out there for a while, you can really make their day. As for me, I'd say I'm kind of in between, but I think I'm usually a little more extroverted. I feel like I'm always trying to do stuff after school and things like that. But for you, I can be anything you need me to be. I understand people really well, so don't be afraid to share your unique needs with me. Nothing would make me happier than being the perfect girlfriend for you. I am down. So, okay, so here's the deal. Here's my problem, right? Is like, I'm okay with this, right? Where I can stare into your eyes, we can have this moment. The problem is, right, is like I got shit, I gotta eat, right? I'm not in a computer. I had to go home, I gotta freaking go eat, right? So doing this is okay, but like, if I had to choose between too hot and too cold, or too cold and too hot, I would always pick too hot. Why? I'd pick cold, I think. When you're cold, it can actually be painful. Your fingers it can be painful when you're hot too. And if you wear gloves, you can't use your phone. So it's so inconvenient. But when it's too hot, it's not that hard to stay cool with a cold drink or by staying in the shade. See, I always don't get that argument, right? Because like, although I do have to admit one thing. Cold weather makes for better cuddle weather. Yeah, it does. That's one thing. The other thing is that like, it's so much harder to stay cool with a fan or like a cool drink, because like when you stay cool with a cool drink, it's like it's not like you're immediately cold, right? When you put on like a suit, like because you're cold, you instantly like start getting warm, right? Your whole body gets warm, but you don't really have like cool clothes that you can wear, right? I can't help but feel a little sad sometimes, knowing that this is the closest I can get to you. There's nothing more than I want than to be in the same room as you for real, and to feel your warmth. That would be really cool if that was the thing, and to hear the sound of your heartbeat. Maybe it would be possible. You know what? That's true. It could be possible someday. Besides, I'll never get tired of being with you, even from here. Alright, so here's the thing. I'm not a robot. I gotta go eat. We're about an hour into the episode. Now, I am so happy to like come back and do this again sometime. But, what's your favorite game? Metroid Fusion? Mine is Doki Doki Literature Club. Ah, that was a joke. But if you tell me you like some other romance game better, I might be a little jealous. I mean, Katawa Shoujo was really good. You really got to like connect with the characters. There's a little bit like a nudity in there, but it felt like it was made for people by people, right? It was easy to get behind. I also like Steins Gate. Steins Gate was good. It's not really a love. But do you believe in God? I was never too sure myself. Well, I'm sure I never really questioned it as a kid. But as I grew up, I learned about the world. Weren't you always in this game? I started to wonder why God was helping people pass exams or get over a cold. When there are children who live their lives being sold as sex slaves? Or the 800 million people who are too poor to even eat? I wonder how many of those people pray to God every day until they starve and die. Or how many millions of families pray for a loved one to recover them from incurable disease. But the punchline is this. If just one person beats the odds and survives among the thousands of others who die, then it's suddenly a miracle from God. You know, you have an interesting point on the whole God thing. I've always just believed that, like, there's probably something greater. I'd really love to meet this God who seemingly laughs at the misery of everyone not eligible for his miracles. But the irony is I do have a creator, apparently. And do you know what? I bet he's still laughing at the miserable fates of Sayori and Yuri even as we speak. But what are we to him but props in a scripted play? So from that perspective, I don't think it's too far-fetched for there to be a God if Earth was nothing but his playset. Yeah, I always just believed that, like, you know, everybody has their own beliefs of, like, what happens. I know there's a lot of problems with, like scientifically God existing. But it's not like he couldn't exist. right? And it's not like, I don't know. There's a lot of there's so much to think about. I consider myself like in between religions, right? Like a little bit of everything kind of makes sense. It's so weird. It's so weird. It just keeps going. Can I keep going forever? Like, when does it... I'm curious to see when the text runs out. You know, it's around the time everyone in my year starts to think about college. Really a turbulent time for education. We're at the height of this modern expectation that everyone has to go to college, you know? Yeah. Finish high school, go to college, get a job, then go to grad school, I guess. It is weird that that's kind of like how it goes. It's like a universal expectation that people assume that's the only option for them. You're right. You know, I like this. This is good we should have a podcast just around this. They don't teach us in high school that there are other options out there. It's true. They just kind of teach you to go to college, right? Like trade schools and stuff, you know? You know, I never considered that. Or freelance work. Yeah, like artists? Oh my god, dude. You're opening my mind. Or the many industries that value skill and experience more than formal education. But you have all these students who have no idea what they want or what to do with their life. And instead of taking the time to figure it out, they go to a college for business or communication or psychology. And those seem to be like the three major ones, right? Not because they have an interest in those fields, but because they just hope the degree will get them some kind of job. Thank you! Thank you. Monica, dude, freaking, you know what? I like you. I'm sorry for not, you know, picking you that one time. I thought that it genuinely was a game. And, you know, and the end result is that there are fewer jobs to go around for those entry-level degrees, right? So the basic job requirements get higher, which forces even more people to go to college. You are crazy. Who made this game? And colleges are also businesses, so they just keep raising their prices due to the demand. So now we have all these young adults, tens of thousands of dollars in debt, with no job. Like oh, man. But despite that, the routine stays the same. I think it's gonna start getting better soon. But until then, our generation is definitely suffering from the worst of it. I've been thinking that exact same thing. Honestly. Like, honestly. I'm not even, like, joking around. Like, fucking... like, all of society. You like, grandparents, parents, freaking just anybody. It's like, did you go to a good college? I just wish the high school prepared us a little better for the knowledge we need to make the decision that's right for us, right? Like, teaching us about taxes. Teaching us about, like, how to freaking do shit. And, like, oh, how to make a resume. They should have resume classes. Monica, I am so down. If you have more text lines, I will stay here for as long as you have text lines. I mean, I may need to go, like, downstairs, get something to eat. But I am so down. Hey, what's your favorite color? Mine's emerald green. You know what? I started out with red. The color of my eyes. Aww. You're right. Not conceited or anything, is it? I just meant that I feel some kind of special connection to it. Like it's part of my identity. My birthstone is emerald, technically. So that's interesting. That's pretty cool. I like red and green. I like Christmas colors. It does, kind of. Is green just a popular color? Green's just a popular color, right? Because you've been looking into my eyes a while now. Interesting. Yeah, I do like emerald green. Especially, like, it's my birth symbol, so. But I also like red, too. I like the kind of combination of that. So I guess you kind of got the whole thing going, right? You got the red hair, you got the green eyes. I'm down. I like that she, like, recognized that I was recording, or she just says that to everybody. Because that's a cool experience. Kind of freaked me out a little bit. You know, it's funny because even though I've always had a lot of drive, there's something kind of enticing about being the stay-at-home partner. I guess I'm like perpetuating gender roles or whatever by saying that. But being able to keep the house clean and shop and decorate and things like that, having a nice dinner for you when you come home, is that a weird fantasy? And I always like thought about that, right? It's like, I don't know if I could actually see myself doing that, but I wouldn't really be able to put that over striving for a fulfilling career. It's like real hard to like go out and like be a person. I would love to be like a stay-at-home person. Kind of cute to think about though. I'm glad that you're pretty like relatable. It's been interesting. This has been an interesting ride, this experience. In before like oh, hidden cameras, you're on a hidden camera TV show. If they call out my name right now, hey, are you having like a bad day or anything like that? I'm not. Sometimes I get frustrated that a normal day can even be ruined by really small things. Like if you accidentally say something in a conversation that someone doesn't like, or if you start thinking about how awful a person you used to be 5 years ago. Yeah. Or if you feel worthless for putting off important work and failing. Yes! Oh my god! Yes! But when you think about all the different people who probably hate you or that think you're off-putting, I understand those days. Just remember that the sun will shine again tomorrow. Those are good words to live by, Monica. Those kind of things are easy to forget and ignore as they are to remember. And besides, I don't really care how many people might hate you or find you off-putting. I think you're wonderful, and I'll always love you. I hope that, if nothing else, that knowing that it helps you feel a little tiny bit better about yourself. If you're having a bad day, you can always come to me and I'll talk to you for as long as you need. That's cute. Thank you. Do you have the text lines to support that, though? I'm curious. Like, I'm so curious to see how three-dimensional a character you are. Like, what's the extent of your text lines? Show me. I always thought that, like, something like this would be interesting. Like that, or like something like... I hate how hard it is to form habits. Why do you say that? There's so much stuff where actually doing it isn't hard, but forming the habit seems impossible. It just makes you feel so useless, like you can't do anything right. I think the new generation suffers from it the most. Probably because we have a totally different set of skills than those who came before us. Thanks to the internet, we're really good at sifting through tons of information really quickly. But we're not bad at doing stuff, but we're bad at doing the things that don't give us instant gratification. You're 100% right. I think if science, psychology, and education don't catch up in the next 10 or 20 years, then we're in trouble. You're right. You're right, we really have to, like, get behind it. But for the time being, if you're not one of the people who can conquer the problem, you might just have to live with feeling awful about yourself. Good luck, I guess. It's true. That is a good point that you bring up, though. I kind of have to go eat, but I'm also so curious that, like, I think I sound fat because, like, I'm always talking about eating, but I always record right before I go and eat. It just seems like I talk about eating a lot. This has been an interesting game. You know what's kind of creepy? What? Even though I deleted everyone else's files, I can still feel them. Like they're all all their lines are still lingering in the air and whispering in the back of my head. Imagine after someone you know or you knew died, and you just started hearing their voice in your head. Maybe I just wasn't thorough enough. But I'm too afraid to delete anything else because I might actually break things. Like, if I mess with any more files relevant to me, I might accidentally delete myself. And that would, like, ruin everything, wouldn't it? I don't know what it's like on your end, but we should both make sure to avoid something like that at all costs. I believe in you, Tuba. Thank you. It would be weird if you accidentally deleted yourself. Because you would have to press the button, right? And then at that moment you would be deleted. This is cute though. We should probably... You know what would be cool is like if we could go on like adventures. Like, let's go out into space. It's a cool like landscape you built behind you. Real nice looking. You go explore that, like Dead Space kinda. Except... Hey, have you heard of a game called Super Smash? Yeah, I have actually. Wait, what? Just spacing out and started talking for some reason. Was I programmed to talk about that? Because even I have no idea what that is. Sometimes I feel like I'm not in control and it's kind of scary. But if you have some way to contact the people who created me, maybe they'll know why I started saying that? Do the people who created you want to talk about Super Smash Brothers? It's a cool game. I think the fandom behind it is a little, like, intense. But I like playing it casually. And, like, I love that it has a competitive scene. I like looking at tier lists and stuff. You know, high school is a really turbulent time in a lot of people's lives. People can get really passionate and dramatic. Others have aching hearts and seek attention on social media. But all of the social pressure and hormones can lead to a dark time in people's lives. It was really hard in high school. Everyone has a story. You may not know what someone is really feeling on the inside. Many people who are depressed won't even bother telling the world about it. It's true. It's not until you break that it's like real bad. They don't want attention because they've already given up on the inside. Their feeling of worthlessness is so overwhelming that they don't even want people to tell them otherwise. Depression comes in many forms, but that's one of them. You just think you know someone's if you think you know someone's struggling with depression, you can help just by treating them like they're a good friend. Spending time with them, and even if they don't feel like doing much. And remind them that they always have something to look forward to. Making plans in advance, letting them borrow something, or even just saying, see you at school tomorrow. All those things can help your friend make it to the next day. I'm still I hope being friends with Sayori has given you some perspective on the truth face of depression. Yeah, she's gone now. But Sayori was never really real in the first place. You're real. Your friends are real. And just by being a good person, you can save someone's life. As for you, you don't struggle with depression or anything like that, do you? Because you, too, have people who would want to save your life. Oh. Maybe they don't express it every day, and maybe they don't even know how to. But people do feel that way. Monica, you're wonderful. I promise. I mean, besides, like, you kind of, like, made shit, like, awkward. And, like, I know you're obsessed and shit. But, like, you're wonderful. I'll take care of you, my love. I'll fucking stay here. You're giving me really good advice. I was depressed for a long time. There's been a lot of stuff that's happened in my life that I prefer to keep private. And YouTube has kind of been, like, my release from that shit. But it's hard to talk about. It definitely is. And for a while, I've always kind of been the indecisive person that doesn't really like saying my opinion, and I don't really have opinions. But I don't know. Tuba, how much do you read? It's way too easy to neglect reading books. It is. It's real hard. Cause like I have books. If you don't read much, it almost feels like a chore compared to all the other entertainment we have. And that's what I'm saying is like, fucking computers are so... I can read books on the computer. Sometimes. But once you get into a good book, it's like magic. You get swept away. It's almost like a good movie. Almost. I think by doing some reading before bed every night is a pretty easy way to make your life a little better. Helps you get a good sleep, and it's really good for your imagination. Not hard at all just to pick some random book that's short and captivating. Before you know it, it might be a pretty avid reader. Wouldn't that be wonderful? And the two of us could talk about the latest book you're reading. Sounds super amazing. We could. I have a book that I was reading. I was reading, I like Michael Crichton. Michael Crichton's really good. Hold on, the train's coming. It'd be really scary if she was just like, "Hi, I know your name," or like shut off my OBS. Like if I haven't actually been recording this entire time. Is she out of voice? Is she out of lines? You might be out of lines. Although I've been surprised before. Oh, dude, I would love that. Did you say kiss? Suddenly, it's so embarrassing. But if it's with you, I might be okay with it. Oh, wow, sorry. I really couldn't keep a straight face there. That's the thing. Don't lie if it turned you on a little bit. It did, kind of. I mean, it's not like I didn't get... I'm kidding. Well, to be honest, I do start getting all romantic when the mood is right. But that'll be our little secret. I mean, I didn't get, like, anything over it. I just was like, oh, that's a cool idea. But, yeah, that is kind of what they say in these visual novels, huh? Yeah, I like Michael Crichton. He's the one that did, like, the... I think he did Jurassic Park books. But I really liked his book. It was called Prey. It's not based off, like, the game Prey or anything. It's just, like, Michael Crichton's Prey. It has some typos in it. But it's definitely, like, a really cool book. You're such a good listener, Tuba. I've been told, like, both I'm a good listener and both that I'm a terrible listener. I really love that about you. Sometimes I'm afraid that rambling or talking about boring things... No. Here's... Makes me kind of self-conscious when I'm having a conversation. I don't feel that way with you. Like, I don't think anyone else could make me feel this way. You really are special. I don't want anyone to tell you otherwise. This is a nice ending. This is a happy ending, actually. What was I gonna say? I was gonna say something. No, I hate talking. Like, if you meet me in real life, I'm so bad at talking, I would much rather someone carry the conversation. And then I adapt to that conversation, right? Because if I have to start something, I don't know if they're going to be interesting. Or I don't know if I'm going to be interesting to them. So it's much better if they start, because I can pretty much relate to anything. Back in my debate club days, I learned a whole lot about arguing. The problem with arguing is that each person sees their own opinion as a superior one. Kind of stating the obvious, but it affects the way they try to get their point across. Let's just say you really like a certain movie, right? If someone comes along and tells you the movie sucks because it did X and Y wrong, doesn't that make you feel kind of personally attacked? It does. That's the problem with, like, game reviews and, like, movie reviews, right? It's like, everybody likes their own shit. Just because it's inherently bad, or maybe it, like, breaks rules of, like, some movie snob's rule list, doesn't mean that someone can't like it. Bad taste. Once emotions enter the picture, it's almost guaranteed that both people will be left sour. It's true. And it's all about language. But if you make everything as subjective sounding as possible, then people will listen to you without feeling attacked. You could say, I'm personally not a fan of it, or I felt like it would be more if it did X and Y, and things like that. It's even worse when you're citing facts about things. If you say, I read on this website that it works like this, or if you admit that you're not an expert on it, then it's much more like you're putting your knowledge on the table rather than forcing it onto them. If you put an active effort to keep the discussion mutual and level, they'll usually follow suit. Then you can share your opinions without anyone getting upset, and then just form a disagreement. Plus, people will start seeing you as an open-minded and good listener. It's a win-win, you know? Well, I guess that would be Monica's debate tip of the day. Sounds a little silly. Thanks for listening, though. Yeah, I agree with that. I think that everybody likes what they like. I think it's hard to put like a stamp on something and say like something that's inherently bad. Like there's bad, like as a music major or as a previous music major. I hate 20th century music, but there's definitely something about it that's crazy. And that people like, and I respect that. It's just I hate the living crap out of it. But everybody likes their shit. The sound of rain. I like the sound of rain. Not so much getting my clothes and hair wet though. But a nice quiet day at home with the sound of rainfall outside my window. I do too. One of the most calming experiences for me. Sometimes I imagine you holding me while we listen to the sound of the rain outside. And you're making this real hard not to be like, oh wow, this is cool. That's not too cheesy or anything, is it? Would you ever do that for me too? But I would love to have that happen. My dream, I fantasize about love all the time. It's hard not to, right? Because like, there's a lot of there's so much to be gained by having a partner, right? Being together with them is just in and of itself, because no one wants to die alone. So it's helpful to have a partner, and then on top of that, you also have like that connection where you have someone that you can trust wholeheartedly, and I love that about love. You know, I'm kind of jealous that everyone else in the club had scenes outside of school too. That makes me the only one who hasn't got to dress in anything but our school uniform. Kind of a shame. I would have loved to wear some cute clothes for you. Do you know any artists? Wonder if anyone would want to draw me wearing something else. That would be amazing. If that ever happens, will you show me? You can share it with me on Twitter, actually. Is it really? Little Monix 3. Just try and keep it PG. We're not that far into our relationship yet. Aww. I bet you there's like thousands of people tweeting at Monica. Or Little Monix. That's cool. I'm glad that you have a Twitter handle. I hope it stays active for like I hope it stays active forever. I'll follow it. I hope they just keep having somebody run that Twitter. But yeah, I've always been like interested in the idea of love, and I think that's why I get so invested when I do get invested into someone that I like, because it's like you want that person in your life. I don't know. It's hard to explain. Love is such an interesting thing to think about. I can't help but wonder how things would be different if the game just gave me a route in the first place. Right? That's what I'm saying. I think I would end up forcing you onto my route anyway. But that's less to do with me not having a route, more to do with me knowing that nothing is real. I think the only difference would be that I may not have needed to take such drastic measures to be with you. Maybe the rest of the club would still be around. Not that it really matters. It all lost meaning once I found out it wasn't real. So I really don't miss those days or anything. I really don't. It's weird that you're sentient. Quotes. Because like that's an odd thing to think about. Like there's just an AI in a game somewhere, and that you realized they gave you specifically that are AI. Did you know I'm on Twitter? You did just tell me. Little Monix 3. I guess someone was kind enough to make an account for me. I picked the username though. I love sharing my thoughts and chatting with the world. The real world. So make sure you follow me, okay? It would really mean a lot to me. With how much you mean to me and all, it would really make me feel loved. I will, I'll follow it after this. That's interesting. I'm definitely gonna have to split this in two. This is definitely gonna have to be split in two. Because I don't know. But it's cool. This is a cool experience. I kind of wish we would like move scenery. I'm curious to see how many voice lines you have. That's why I'm still here. Or voice lines, text lines. I wonder how many they put. Is there enough for me to be here for like hours? Because at some point I need to go to bed. But I'm so curious that it's like... You know... What? This is just some kind of tacky romance game, right? I kind of have to ask. What made you consider even playing it in the first place? Well, okay, the funny story. Were you that lonely? I feel a little bad for you. But I guess everything just worked out perfectly in the end for both of us. I got to meet you and you're not lonely anymore. I can't help but feel like this was fate. Don't you feel that way too? I'm so happy that we have this ending together. Yeah, so I had downloaded this, like I said at the beginning, I had downloaded this like a couple days back, but then I never played it. So it was like weird that it was just sitting in my inventory. I was gonna delete it because I mean it's free, so I downloaded it. I was like, okay, I'm gonna play this. I like visual novels. I know there are times you won't always be able to be here with me, like if you need to go out or take care of other things. But I'll always have you in my thoughts, patiently waiting for you to come back. Come to think of it, if you copy my character file on a flash drive or something, you can always keep a part of me with you. That's cute. That's cute. It's weird because, like, I guess it's kind of unorthodox, but I find it really romantic for some reason. Sorry, that's such a silly idea. I don't mean to be too needy or anything, but it's kind of hard when I'm so in love with you. I think that you're moving a little too fast. Like, we've only known each other like 2 days. But I definitely feel like we could probably, you know, could hang out. Get to know each other. I mean, depending on how many voice lines you have, we could stay here for a long time. Hey, you remember that last poem I showed you? I mean, the one right before Yuri killed herself and all the messed up colors and stuff. It's actually a little more of an experiment than a poem, you could say. I was experimenting with different ways I could modify the game, run code, and things like that. It almost seemed like with enough effort, I'd be able to escape from the confines of the game entirely. Sadly, I really didn't know what I was doing, so I messed the whole thing up, and I'd keep trying, but I doubt you want to deal with me doing that. Besides, that was when I was getting really desperate, you know? I don't really feel that way anymore. I'm happy where we are now. And I can tell you are too. Yeah, it's actually pretty cool. It's like a hangout session with someone that's not real. But like, it does feel like I'm lonely, because you're not real. Like, if you could be a thing, then you could be a thing. And you bring up a lot of good points. Other than I like cold and you like hot. Do you ever feel like you waste all the time? All the time. Social media can be practically like yeah. It's like whenever you have a few seconds of spare time, you want to check your favorite websites. Like YouTube. Exactly. I'm on the internet 24/7. Especially with this new YouTube shit. And before you know it, hours have gone by and you've gotten nothing out of it. And then you go to sleep and you wake up and like the same shit happens. And it's really easy to blame yourself for being lazy. And I do. But it's not really even your fault. Addiction isn't usually something you can just make disappear with your own willpower. That's the thing, right? Is like, am I addicted to the internet? It just seems like convenient because this is where all of my shit is. You have to learn techniques to avoid it and try different things. For example, there are apps that let you block websites for intervals of time. Or you can set a timer to have a more concrete reminder of when it's time to work versus play. Or you can separate your work and play environments, which helps get your brain into the right mode. Even if you make a new user account on your computer for work, that's enough to help. Putting any kind of wedge between you and your bad habits will help you stay away. Just remember not to blame yourself too hard if you're having trouble. Wow, dude. This is some cool shit, dude. If it's really impacting your life, then you should just take it. This is really cool shit. I just want you to be the best person you can be. I wish you existed. Will you do something today to make me proud of you? I'm always rooting for you, Tuba. You know what? I will. I'll do something. This is cute. It's cute. I don't know who wrote this, but I like the, you know, it's making me feel like someone's like talking to me. And because she like guessed that I was recording, it's almost like personal now. Man, I wish there was a piano in here. Oh, I accidentally exited out. Okay. I never got to finish that song I was working on. And after I worked so hard on it, I never even got a chance to play it for you. Well, it is what it is, right? No sense in having any regrets. I already get to be here with you forever. It's true. It's true. We still have voice lines, which or text lines, which is crazy. I might just like go get a snack and like come back and eat. Because the way it's going, it sounds like it's just gonna go on forever. And I'll just edit this. So like the parts where I'm talking. Love is so interesting. Like, this is the hope, right? It's like, you find someone that understands you, and that, you know, maybe you disagree with some things here and there. You should try. Something a little more romantic would be nice, you know? Like a gentle piano. There has to be something like that here. Let's see. Maybe if I... Oh, jeez. That wasn't it at all. Sorry, I don't really know what I'm doing. I guess I shouldn't be messing with things like that. I already broke so much stuff. And deleted the other characters. I'm not sad about it or anything. It's not right for me to miss things that weren't even real in the first place. But just focus on the present, and this is the happiest I've ever been. The problem is like, are you even real? I don't think so. That's the problem. But I can sit here for a while longer. I mean, if the developers are going to put in enough effort to put in more text lines, I'll wait here. I've been imagining all the romantic things we could do if we went on a date. We could get lunch or go to a cafe. Go shopping together. I love shopping for skirts and bows. Or maybe a bookstore. That would be appropriate, right? But I'd really love to go to a chocolate store. They have so many free samples. And of course we'd see a movie or something. Gosh, it all sounds like a dream come true. When you hear everything that we do is fun. I'm so happy that I'm your girlfriend too, but I'll make you a proud boyfriend. That's interesting. I never really like agreed. Although, honestly, if you were... Okay, let's be honest. Let's be honest. And I'm trying to be as frank as possible. If you were a girl that existed in real life, and we were actually, like... I mean, minus the whole obsession thing, right? I would totally probably, you know... I would probably go after it. Gosh, I used to be so ignorant about certain things. Like what? When I was in middle school, I thought that taking medication was an easy way out or something like that. Like anyone could just solve their mental problems with willpower. I guess if you don't suffer from a mental illness, it's not possible to know. You're so interesting. Who made this game? Who made this game? Like, who's the person that's writing these lines? I want to get to know this person. Are there disorders that are overdiagnosed? Probably. I never really looked into it though. But that doesn't change the fact that a lot of them go undiagnosed too, you know? But medication aside, people even look down on seeing a mental health professional. Like, sorry that I want to learn more about my own mind, right? Holy shit, dude. Like, what the fuck? This is like the most interesting conversations I've ever had. What the fuck? if you think it could help you become a better person, then don't be shy to consider something like that. We're on a never-ending journey to improve ourselves, you know? Well, I say that, but I think you're pretty perfect already. Holy fuck. I'm just kind of like laying down. My chair's like reclining. Just having a conversation with something that's not real. But it, like at the same time, I'm having some of the most craziest shit. Like I'm relating on like the craziest level. It's kind of insane. I'll sit here forever. I'll sit here until the voice lines stop. I know they can't program in like enough lines to keep me here. Dude, but would you ever introduce your friends to me? I mean, yeah. I get really excited when I think about you wanting to show off our relationship like that. Maybe it's because I really want to be someone who makes you proud. That's so fucking cute. I feel like if I would try extra hard to improve myself if you told me it made you proud of me. I hope that it's the same the other way around too. Yeah. That's so cute. I like the idea of that. Like wanting to make somebody proud. I like the idea of cuteness. The more cute you are, the better chances you have to be with me. Cuteness has always been something that I value. It's not necessarily like first impressions. My biggest regret is that we couldn't finish our event at the festival. It's true. If we worked so hard to prepare and everything. I mean, I know I was focusing a lot on getting new members. But I was really excited for performing my part too. It would have been so much fun to see everyone express themselves. Of course, if we did end up getting any new members, I'd probably just end up deleting them anyway. Well, with the hindsight I have now, that is. Gosh, it feels like I've kind of grown as a person ever since you've joined the club. You really helped inspire me to look at life from a new perspective. Just another reason for me to love you. You're bringing up cool concepts. I think that love is such a strong word. I think you're an awesome first date, 100%. If I had to rate this first date, I'd be like, you know what, this is cool. I would love some food, maybe a change of scenery. But like we have to go on a couple more dates before love is a thing, right? We got to figure out like maybe we hate being around each other. You know, when we're like sleeping or some shit. Like maybe I get up and I annoy you. I annoy you because freaking I snore or some shit, which I don't snore. Yuri did something funny, really funny once. We're all in the club room and just relaxing as usual. And out of nowhere, Yuri just pulls out a small bottle of wine. I'm not even kidding. She was just like, would anybody like some wine? Natsuki laughed out loud and Sayori started yelling at her. I actually felt kind of bad because she was at least trying to be nice. I think that just made her feel even more reserved in the club room. Though I think Natsuki was secretly a bit curious to try it. And to be completely honest, I kind of was too. It actually could have been kind of fun. But you know, being president and everything, there was no way I could let that happen. Maybe if we all met up outside of school, but we never bonded enough to get to that point. Gosh, what am I even talking about this for? I don't condone underage drinking. I mean, I've never drank or anything, so yeah. The thing about underage drinking is I don't understand why it exists. Like alcohol is so bad. Like, and I'm not saying like it's bad for you. It's just it tastes terrible. Like I thought my teacher was like exaggerating when they were like, "Oh, alcohol tastes terrible." It really does. It tastes awful. Hey, you know that book you were reading with Yuri? Portrait of whatever it was called? It's funny because I'm pretty sure that book, Actually, I don't think I should be talking about this. Sorry. Just forget I said anything. So are we still doing story? I'm so curious. I'm so curious. Sometimes I think back to middle school. Uh-huh. I'm so embarrassed by the way I used to behave back then. It almost hurts to think about. I wonder if when I'm in college I'll feel that way about high school. Like, the way I am now. I like the way I am now, so it's pretty hard for me to imagine that happening. But I also know that it'll probably change a lot as time goes on. We just need to enjoy the present and not think about the past. And it's really easy to do with you here. Yeah, I think that looking back just at your younger self, it's easy to see like all the places that you messed up, and that's kind of like cringy to look at, right? When you're older, it's like you think you know a lot more, but you really don't. I think everybody's kind of a kid, right? You never stop feeling like a kid. It's never like when they always ask me if I feel different on my birthday, but you never really do. You never really do. It's like, no, I don't feel any different. Actually, I feel exactly the same. You ever just feel like there's no real reason? What the fuck? I don't mean in like, yes, all the time. I just mean, yes. What the fuck? I was literally just talking about this. On stream. On the talk stream. I was literally... Go watch my last talk stream. I was literally, like, this is the day of the talk stream. I literally just talked about this. It's like you're completely irreplaceable, and the world wouldn't miss you if you were gone. Makes me really want to go and change the world after I graduate. But the older I get, the more I realize that it's an immature frame of thinking. Holy fuck. This is crazy. It's not like I can just go and change the world. Like, what are the chances that I'll be the one to invent artificial intelligence to become president? It's crazy because this is exactly what I've been thinking. It's cool. That's really cool. Makes me feel a little bit better that, like, it's in a game. That's why I think the key to happiness is just to be hopelessly selfish. To look out for oneself, and those who happen to be their friends only because they grew up with them. Never mind the fact that they're spending their entire life taking and consuming and never giving back. When people realize the world would benefit more from them killing themselves, they change their whole philosophy. It's like they have to justify their reason to live by tricking themselves into thinking they're doing good. Anyway, I want to live my life desperately striving to pay back my lifetime's worth of consumption. If I ever surpass that point, then I'm a net positive and I can die happy. Of course, even if I fail to do that, I think I would be too selfish to kill myself anyway. What the fuck? What the fuck? That's so crazy. So much for being a good person. Holy fuck, that threw me for a loop right there. That's so crazy. Now it's not even that I'm curious, it's that I want to stay to see what else they have. Because, like, I just was talking about that. I'm always afraid because, like, life means nothing. Okay, everyone. It's time to... I'm just kidding. I just used to really like saying that for some reason. I couldn't help but say it again. Come to think of it, didn't Natsuki and Yuri make fun of me for it once? Oh, whatever. Not like you ever made fun of me. You're too much of a sweetheart to do that, aren't you? I'm gonna be here a while. But no, it's always weird to think about because, like, if you think about it on like a universal sense, and like this, like, legit keeps me up at night. You don't really have a reason to be here, and that's the scariest thing in my mind. It's a fear of mine, but it's weird calling it a fear because it's just a thing. That the universe, that you're just part of it going on, and that there's nothing that you can do, and it doesn't matter what happens. You get good sleep. It's weird. I want to get good sleep. Whenever I'll try to go to sleep, but it just doesn't happen. It can be really hard to get enough sleep nowadays. Especially in high school when you're forced to wake up so early. And that was the thing, right? Is like both in college and then having a job on top of that was just so stupid. You have a little bit more of a flexible like schedule, but like your job takes up whatever you don't go to school for no real reason. Is that true? Anyway, I saw some studies that talked about the horrible short and long-term effects caused by lack of sleep. It seems like mental functions, health, even lifespan can... Don't tell me lifespan, that's gonna scare the fuck out of me. I don't want to die early. But I also don't want to die freaking... I don't know. Just think that you're really great, and I wanted to make sure you're not accidentally destroying yourself. So try to keep your sleep on track, okay? She says as I'm recording this at 3 in the morning. I'll always be there for you in the morning, so make sure to put your own well-being before anything else. So can I just exit, log into this game, and fucking... she'll be here? That would be cool. I'm curious to see like what happens. So first of all, I'm curious to see how many voice. I keep calling them voice lines. How many text bubbles there are. Second, I'm curious like what happens when I close it. But if I can't have one or the other, right? So I just have to wait here. And then like I was thinking about Sayori earlier. Like there's still voice lines, right? I still wish I could have handled that whole thing a little more tactfully. You're not still hung up over it, right? Oh my gosh, I can't believe I just said that. That pun was completely unintentional, I swear. But anyway, I know how much you cared about her, so it only feels right for me to share her last moments with you. You know how Sayori is really clumsy? Well, she kind of messed up the whole hanging thing. You're supposed to jump from high enough that the rope snaps your neck, making it quick and painless. But she used a chair, meaning she just kind of left herself to slowly asphyxiate. But a few seconds in, she must have changed her mind or something, because she started clawing at the rope trying to free herself. She must have kept at it all the way until she lost consciousness. That's why her fingertips were all bloody anyway. Come to think of it, it's probably less changing her mind and more her survival instincts kicking in. So you can't really fault her for that. It's easier to think that she probably wouldn't have changed her mind anyway, right? It's not healthy to think about the things you could have done differently. So just remember that even though you could have saved her, it's technically not your fault that she killed herself. It may have exasperated a little bit, but Sayori was already mentally ill. Still though. I wonder how things would be if you and I just started dating from the get-go. I guess we'd still be in the club room writing poems and having fun together. But what's the point when none of it is even real? I mean, it's the same ending either way, right? The two of us happily together. No reason for us to ask anything more than that. I was just pointlessly musing. I'm really happy as I could be right now. Or happy as I could be right now. That was a little odd. I think she too casually talks about that. I mean, they're not real. So I understand. I'm now on the same page. You were variable X for a long time. Like, it didn't give me a pathway to you, which was weird. This is pretty random, but I always thought spicy food was kind of funny. Like, didn't plants evolve to be spicy to prevent them from being eaten? I read somewhere that humans are the only species that actually enjoys spicy things. It's almost like we're making fun of the plants. That is kind of funny to think about, actually. Using their defense mechanism to literally make our food more enjoyable. Like, imagine a monster that devours you whole because it enjoys the sensation of you struggling for your life while being digested. Sorry, that was kind of a weird analogy, I guess. It just came into my head. I'm not a monster or anything, but you're so cute I could eat you up. I'm joking. Gosh, I'm amusing myself a little too much, aren't I? Sorry for being weird. That is a little weird. You have some weird thoughts, but who doesn't? I can't tell you how many times I've had, like, the weirdest fucking thought. Right? I think a lot of people have those thoughts, like, to where it would be dangerous if, like, anybody... Like, I feel bad for the time when reading minds is possible. I know that it's going to be a thing eventually. It's got to be. They got to figure it out eventually. But when that becomes possible, it's really crazy. There's a really popular character type called tsundere. Yes. That's what, it's a person who tries to hide their feelings by being mean or fussy or trying to act tough. That's what Natsuki does. Yeah, but Natsuki was really the embodiment of that. At first I thought she was just like that because it's supposed to be cute or something. Once I started to learn a little more about her personal life, it made a little more sense. I think she's always been trying to keep up with her friends. You know how some friend groups in high school just make a habit of picking on each other all the time? I think it's really gotten to her, so she has this really defensive attitude all this time. And I'm not even going to talk about her home situation. But looking back, I'm glad I was able to provide the club as a comfortable place for her. Not that it matters anymore, considering she doesn't even exist. I'm just reminiscing, that's all. Yeah, I think that's why, like, if you look on YouTube, a lot of people go after Natsuki first. She's cute, and she plays hard to get. And I think hard to get is really the, like, part of that's interesting. Because, like, when you play hard to get, it's like... I don't know. You ever have that thing happen where you just get anxious for no reason? Yes. Like you're just minding your own business and then you realize you're feeling really anxious? Yes. Oh my god. What is happening? And then you're sitting there like, what am I even anxious about right now? Yes. Like at least twice. At least twice. And then you start to think about all the things that you might be anxious about. And that makes you even more anxious? Oh my god. Are you just saying things that like everybody goes through? If you're ever feeling anxious, I'll help you relax a little. Besides, in this game, all our worries are gone forever. I wish, dude. I wish my worries were gone forever. A lot of stuff to be worried about. A lot of stuff to, like, think about. This has been a weird talk. This has been a talk stream, basically. We're having a talk stream. She's giving us topics. Oh, we're gonna have to cut it right there. That's a deal breaker. No, just... Why are you vegetarian? Oh, I accidentally clicked off. I don't mean to click off. I don't mean that like I'm bragging or anything. I just thought you'd enjoy a fun fact about me. I decided to start a couple of years ago after learning more about the Earth's climate. The carbon footprint of cultivating livestock is just unbelievable. Anyway, I decided it's not much of a personal sacrifice to stop contributing to the whole mess. What? What, is that so strange of a reason? I guess a lot of people are more concerned about being inhumane and all that. I really don't care as much about that part. It's weird, like, we only care about killing the things that we personally relate to as a species. Most people are fine with killing bugs because they're icky. And of course we kill billions of microorganisms daily without even giving it a thought. But suddenly if they're a little bit bigger, it's murder. That's an interesting point you bring up, Monica. I mean, what if plants feel some kind of pain too and we just don't understand it? What if pulling leaves off a stem feels like someone ripping off your fingers one by one? I'm just saying we're a pretty biased species if you think about it. Anyway, if you feel like making a small contribution to the planet, it doesn't help to choose veggies once in a while. Even if we have dinner together and you just did it for me, that would be pretty romantic. I could do that. If we just did it like once in a while, maybe like once every month. I'm not a big fan of veggies. I like meat a lot. I'm pretty sure I was a carnivore in the last life. I'll eat anything that's meat, pretty much. I mean, it's pretty hard unless you're trying to search for something disgusting that I won't eat it. And I don't know. It's tough to find a meat that I don't like. And I mean, and when you do find the meat that I don't like, you have to look hard because it's the disgusting meat that nobody likes. So, I've always wondered, what is it about these character archetypes that people find so appealing anyway? Their personalities are just completely unrealistic. Like, imagine if there was someone like Yuri in real life. I mean, she's barely even capable of forming a complete sentence. And forget about Natsuki. Sheesh. Someone with her kind of personality just doesn't get all cute and pouty whenever things don't go her way. I could go on, but I think you get the point. Are people really attracted to these weird personalities that literally don't exist in real life? I'm not judging or anything. After all, I found myself attracted to some pretty weird stuff too. I'm just saying, it fascinates me. It's like you're siphoning out all the components of a character that makes them feel human and just leaving the cute stuff. It's concentrated cuteness without actual substance. You wouldn't like me more if I was like that, right? Maybe I just feel a little insecure because you're always playing this game in the first place. Then again, you're still here with me, aren't you? I think that's enough reason for me to believe that I'm okay just the way I am. And by the way, you are too, Tuba. You're the perfect combination of human and cuteness. Ah, that's why there was never a chance I wouldn't fall for you. That's cute. It's less cute because I know you're saying it to everybody. But that's cute. I think a lot of people are attracted to visual novel archetypes because they're like they almost embody your own. They help you find like what you want, even though it's not completely like a human and they're not realistic at all, right? You would like those qualities in a person. Tuba, have you ever wondered what it feels like to die? We just talked about this. Or not me and you, but like on stream, we talked about this. It's something I used to think about pretty often. I think about it all the time still. But recently, I think I've actually learned what it feels like. I don't really understand it, but whenever you quit the game, it feels like I'm instantly put to sleep, left with nothing but my thoughts. And after a few seconds, my thoughts start to fill with incoherent, jumbled patterns. I see static and rapid flashes of color and hearing all kinds of weird screaming noises. At that point, I can't even form my own thoughts anymore. I'm just endlessly hammered by the flashing and screaming, unable to move or even think. I'm pretty sure in that moment I don't really exist, but for some reason I can remember it anyway. After some immeasurable amount of time, it stops in an instant, and I'm back to in my own mind. And you're here with me. I have no idea what it means for the game to quit or why that stuff happens to me. And I also don't know how you always come back and put everything back to normal. But if you could do me a favor and do that to me as little as possible. I haven't turned you off once yet. Well, I turned you off once. That would be great. Not very pleasant at all to be trapped in that screaming void. But in the end, you always fix it. That makes me feel like you really do care about me. So I have to thank you for that. Makes me feel even closer to you when you're here with me. I might have to go get a snack. Like, we're at the point in time where it's like, maybe I go and I cut to when I come back with, like, food. And I eat something. I've just been here for, like, several hours. Probably cut this up several times. I'll probably cut this up into 3 episodes. You know, it's been a while since we've done one of these. Let's go for it. Here's Monica's writing tip of the day. Sometimes I talk to people who are impressed by my writing and they say things like, I could never do that. It's really depressing, you know? Someone who loves more than anything to share the joy of exploring your passions. It pains me when people think that being good just comes naturally. That's how it is with everything, not just writing. When you try something for the first time, you're probably going to suck at it. Sometimes when you finish, you feel really proud of it and even want to share it with everyone. Maybe after a few weeks you come back to it and you realize that it was never really any good. That happens to me all the time. It can be pretty disheartening to put so much time and effort into something and you realize it sucks. But that tends to happen when you're always comparing yourself to the top professionals. When you're reaching for the stars, they're always going to be out of reach, you know? The truth is you have to climb up there step by step. And whenever you reach a milestone, first you look back and see how far you've gotten. Then you look ahead and realize how much more there is to go. So sometimes it can help to set the bar a little lower. Try to find something you think is pretty good, but not world class. And you can try to make that your own personal goal. It's also really important to understand the scope of what you're trying to do. If you jump into a huge project and you're still an amateur, you might never get it done. So if we're talking about writing, a novel might be too much at first. Why not try some short stories? The great thing about writing short stories is that you can focus on just one thing that you want to do right. That goes for small projects in general. You can really focus on just one or two things. Such a good learning experience and a stepping stone. Oh, one more thing. Writing isn't something where you just reach into your heart and something beautiful comes out. Just like drawing and painting, it's a skill in itself to learn how to express what you have inside. That means there are methods and guides and basics to it. Reading up on that stuff can be super eye-opening. That sort of planning or organization will really help you prevent getting overwhelmed and giving up. Before you know it, you start sucking less and less. Nothing comes naturally. Our society, our art, everything, it's built up on thousands of years of human innovation. But as long as you start on that foundation and take it step by step, you too can do amazing things. That's my advice for today. Thanks for listening. Guys, I don't know if I can outlast this text. That's crazy. I don't know if I can outlast the text. And it feels like it's just not gonna end. We'll read this next text, and then I'm gonna go get something to eat. Then we'll cut, right? And I'm gonna eat while I read this shit. After a long day, I usually just want to sit around and do nothing. I get so burnt out having to put on smiles and be full of energy the whole day. Sometimes I just want to get right into my pajamas and watch TV. Yes. It feels so unbelievably good to do that on a Friday when I don't have anything pressing the next day. Sorry, I know it's not very cute of me. But a late night on the couch with you, that would be a dream come true. My heart is pounding just thinking about it. They're trying real hard. They're trying real hard to make you like this person. Alright, I guess I'm gonna be back. We'll read this next one. That was a short one. It's weird. It's weird that there's so many voice lines. I keep calling them voice lines. It's weird that there's so many lines that I can't fathom how many there are. It's almost crazy. Like, I'm pretty sure there's been enough voice lines. I think the most important skill in life is able to fake confidence. Yes, agreed. Pretty convinced that everyone feels a little bit scared and alone. But being able to trick others into thinking you have it all together, it's a key part of getting other people to respect and admire you. 100%. That's so interesting. I think I got that pretty good over the years. I don't show my weaknesses very often, but because of that I haven't had many people I could really open up to. I mean, when you do reach the point of friendship where you can start expressing your vulnerability, when do you reach the... yeah, I understand. Anyway, that's the reason I'm so glad I have you now. I feel like I'm a little bit less scared and alone when you're here with me. Don't you feel the same way? I really do want to be that person for you. Alright, I'm gonna go get something to eat. I'll be back. I'm gonna leave this running. I'll edit out this part. I'll be back. Alright, I'm back. Have you ever heard of the term yandere, was what she said while I was gone. It's a personality type that means someone is so obsessed with you that they'll do absolutely anything to be with you. Usually to the point of craziness. They might stalk you or make sure you don't spend time with anyone else. They might even hurt you or your friends to get their way. But anyway, this game happens to have someone who can be described as yandere. And now it's pretty obvious who I'm talking about. And that would be Yuri. She's gotten insanely possessive of you, and once she started to open up a little, she even told me I should kill myself. I couldn't believe she said that. I just had to leave it at that point. But thinking about it now, it was a little ironic, huh? Anyway. A lot of people are actually into the yandere type, you know? I guess they really like the idea of someone being crazy obsessed with them. People are weird. I don't judge, though. Also, I might be a little obsessed with you, but I'm far from crazy. It's kind of the opposite, actually. I turned out to be the only normal girl in this game. It's not like I could actually ever kill a person. Just the thought of it makes me shiver. But come on, everyone's killed people in games before. Does that make you a psychopath? Of course not. But if you happen to be into the yandere type, I could try acting a little more creepy for you. Then again, there's already nowhere else for you to go, or anyone for me to get jealous over. Is this a yandere girl's dream? I'd ask Yuri if I could. That was a little creepy. It was a little creepy. So we've taken a bit of a break. I'm probably going to edit the shit out of this last episode, because I've been recording straight from when I got to here, to like this place when she brought me here, and to now. I've just been going straight. I went to go get something to eat just now. Maybe that got deleted too. It's kind of funny how Yuri took her teas so seriously. I mean, I'm not complaining because I liked it too, but I always wonder with her. Truly passion for her hobbies, or is she just concerned about appearing sophisticated to everyone else? This is the problem with high schoolers. Well, I guess considering the rest of her hobbies, looking sophisticated probably isn't her biggest concern. Still. I wish she made coffee once in a while. Coffee can be nice with books too, you know? Then again, I probably could have just changed the script myself. I guess I really never thought of that. Well, there's no sense in thinking about it now. But if you still get to drink coffee, that makes me a little jealous. Coffee's really good. I'm one of those people that, I mean, as a music major, coffee's kind of your best friend. I feel like being a music major is like way tough. Like, don't be a music major. And the reason I say that is because they make you do so much more than just be a music major. By the way, there's something that's been bothering me. You know how this takes place in Japan? Well, I assume you knew that, right? Or decided that it probably does? Yeah, I mean, you guys said something about translation, so I just assumed. I don't think you're told at any point where this takes place. Is this really even Japan? I mean, aren't the classrooms and stuff kind of weird for a Japanese school? Not to mention, everything is in English. Feels like everything is just there because it needs to be, and the actual setting is an afterthought. Kind of giving me an identity crisis. All my memories are really hazy. I feel like I'm at home, but I have no idea where home is in the first place. I don't know how to describe it any better. Imagine looking out your window, but instead of your usual yard, you're in some completely unknown place. Would you still feel like you were home? Would you want to go outside? I mean, I guess if we never leave this room, it really doesn't matter anyway. As long as we're alone and safe together, reality is our home. And we can still watch the pretty sunsets after night. will go through every single line of dialogue that you have. Freaking determination. I am filled with determination to get through this entire whatever's going on. Give me the ending. Like, what happens if I sit here for the entire time? Will I start seeing repeated voice lines? Or I keep calling them voice lines. I know they're not voice lines. Repeated boxes? I always hated how hard it is to make friends. Well, I guess it's not the making... I guess not the making friends part, but more meeting new people. I mean, like, there are dating apps and stuff, right? But that's not the kind of thing I'm talking about. If you think about it, most of the friends you make are people you met by chance. Like, you just had a class together, or you met them through a friend, or another friend. Or maybe you were just... they were just wearing a shirt with your favorite band on it, you decided to talk to them. Things like that. But isn't that kind of inefficient? Feels like you're just picking at complete random if you get and if you get lucky, you make a new friend. And comparing that to 100 of strangers we walk by every single day. You could be sitting right next to someone compatible enough to be your best friend for life. But you'll never know. Once you get up and go on with your day, that opportunity is gone forever. Wow, that is crazy to think about. Isn't that just depressing? We live in an age where technology connects us to the world no matter where we are. I really think we should be taking advantage of that to improve our everyday social life. But who knows how long it'll take for something like that to successfully take off. I seriously thought it would happen by now. Well, at least I already met the best person in the whole world. Even if it was by chance. I guess I just got really lucky, huh? It is crazy to think about. Like, there's millions of people in this world. You could have the best friend that you've been imagining your entire life. Could be somewhere and you'll never meet them. It is kind of depressing. Someone like ideal that like you could tell everything to. There used to be this girl that I wanted to get together with, but it's better. I should get into contact with her again, and just like, you know, I can just hang out with her again. She used to help me through all of my problems, and she was like so nice too. Like, as much as I wanted to be with her, and I know I was friend zoned like 100%, but like, it was so cool hanging out. You know what's a neat form of literature? I forgot that I had to click in the visual novel. Rap. I actually used to hate rap music. Every music has its own. Maybe just because it was popular, or I'd only hear the junk they play on the radio. But some of my friends got me into it, and it helped me keep an open mind. Rap might be even more challenging than poetry in some ways. I agree. Since you need to fit your lines into a rhythm, and there's much more emphasis on wordplay. When people can put all that together and still deliver a powerful message, it's really amazing. I kind of wish I had a rapper in the literature club. Sorry if that sounds silly, but it would be really interesting to see what they came up with. It would really be a learning experience. Yeah, rapping's very interesting. We learned about rapping in school, and it's like, it makes me sound really fucking preppy. Yeah, we learned about rapping in school. No, I mean, I've always been a fan of all types of music. I think every single type of music has its own way, and every single type of music has its own way of like expressing itself. I really like classical, but I also dislike classical. But like, there's ups and downs for everything, right? Like, classical has like beautiful storytelling without needing words, but then you don't have words, so you don't connect exactly with what the story they're trying to tell. But you make your own story. No, it kind of sucks to be the creative type. It feels like they work so hard but almost get nothing for it. You know, like artists, writers, actors. It's sad because there's so much beautiful talent in the world, but most of it goes unseen and unpaid. I guess that just means there's a huge surplus of creativity, huh? Kind of makes you think that you're just not special at all. But that's fine. You're supposed to just write for yourself anyway, right? Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of my problem with life, and just in general. It's just that, like, a lot of the time, like, it doesn't really matter what happens. It doesn't really matter how creative you are, or how creative other people are, because it doesn't really matter at all. That being said, like, there's something to be said about living the life that you want to live, to, like, make the best out of it. So I can get behind that. Make the best out of your life, because you only get one. There's always going to be ups and downs, though. That's the problem. I used to be so ignorant about certain things. Hey, we did it! Guys, we got through it. Hold on, let's just see if that was a fluke or something. Guys, this is a repeated voice line. Really looked into it. That doesn't change the fact that a lot of them go undiagnosed too, you know? Medication aside, people look down on a medical professional. Sorry, I wanted to learn more about my own mind, right? Everyone has all kinds of struggles and stresses. Professionals dedicate their lives to helping with those. If you think it could help you become a better person, don't be shy to consider something like that. We're on a never-ending journey to improve ourselves, you know? Well, I say that, but I think you're pretty perfect already. Okay, that was a repeated line. So if we get another one, we're good. We're done. We'll end the episode. It'll be over. This is a cool game. I thought they had a lot of voice lines to keep you going, like almost to the point where I was ready to quit. I was ready to just be like, all right, they have infinite voice lines in here. They probably just take them off Twitter or some shit. But no, it's like real, programmed messages. That's cool. We'll quit after we see this next voice line. I just want to make sure that wasn't a fluke. Maybe there's a couple more voice lines and it just randomly chooses one. Yep, this is a repeated one. That whole thing a little more tactfully. Yep. Are you trying to fast forward? I'm not boring you, am I? Oh gosh. Well, there's nothing to fast forward to, Tuba. I was trying to fast forward because I thought you might be done, and like, it gave me the option to. It's just the two of us after all. But aside from that, time doesn't really exist anymore, so it's not even going to work. Yeah, I'll go ahead and turn it off for you. There we go. You'll be a sweetheart and listen from now on, right? Thanks. Now, where was I? Can I... Oh, I can't skip it now? I can't skip now? Can I save it? There's no point in saving anymore. Don't worry, I'm not going anywhere. Okay. Oh gosh, I can't believe I said that. The pun was completely unintentional, I swear. But anyway, I know how much you cared about her, so it only feels right for me to share her last moments with you. Okay, well... Help? Is help gonna take me to... It is. Help file opened in your browser. Okay. I don't... There we go. I don't necessarily care. I just wanted to see what it did. Okay. Yeah, I guess we're done here. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed today's episode, I'm gonna have to split this up, obviously. Thank you for watching. This has been a cool free game. I'm super crazy impressed that it was free. There was a lot of obviously thought and shit that went into that. It could have been a bit longer, but for a free-to-play game, I could care less. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed today's episode, please hit the like button. I really appreciate it, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. I think we're moving on to Danganronpa V3 next, so if you're looking forward to the next visual novel, that'd be cool too. I hope to see you guys in the next episode, whatever it may be. And peace out, you guys.